there is intense pressure for Atiku to step down, to withdraw from the presidential race 2027, saying that Obi should be given the opportunity to run because he is the most preferred candidate who could get more public acceptance under these current realities. And besides, he should allow the southern region to complete the 8 years of 2 terms, and by feeding P2B to be the running mate, otherwise he might be making another blunder and very regrettable miscalculation. Because 2027, he shouldn't be moved by his a sexy quest and greed for power, which is synonymous to the northern political elites. They want to grab the power by all means possible, not considering an equitable fair share or distribution of these opportunities. So it's been considered widely that the next 4 years should be given to a southern candidate in order to ensure fairness and balance. But then people have misunderstood the persistent quest, desperation on the part of Atiku. What would have informed this for barely how many dispensations Atiku have been fronting to become the president of Nigeria? He has 2 opportunities to have emerged or given himself that chance, but unfortunately was not well utilized. Again, he is in the same business of expressing that sort of desperation. Well, he have blamed Tinubu for the crisis or conflicts of interest or clash within the coalition. Of course, the coalition is an embodiment of the obedience and Atiku coalition or supporters. Whatever be the case, Atiku should look inward and speak to himself. What did he stand to gain if he eventually, through his desperation, truncated the opportunity for the coalition to emerge as a formidable opposition against the ruling government or the ruling party? As it stands now, they have more advantage over the ruling party, being that Nigerians have greatly or widely rejected the administration of Ahmed Tinubu for failing to address the economic, social, and security problems, rather than worsening the situations, and Nigerians felt disappointed. They are looking for a viable alternative. I hope the NDC might provide such answer to the cravings of Nigerians. But then we've seen clearly there is an indication that should Atiku maintain, of course, to indicate and insist in running the 2027 presidential race, the House already will tear apart, and that will reduce the chances of the NDC to become a more viable opposition. So what could be the interest of Atiku if he must front his own personal interest of emerging as the flag bearer, as there have been several clamor and clarion call, giving the signal, the danger of Atiku showing up, that he should allow P2B, who, as it stands now, is one among the major, of course, opposition, who have gained admiration, support across the regions of this country. And that is exactly what you need to dislodge the incumbent president in office. So Atiku should wait and use his own popularity in the north and canvass for support for P2B, and thereafter, after the one tenor, as P2B has submitted his proposal of running, his intent of running just for one tenor of 4 years, Atiku possibly or any other northern candidate can fit in, because it's now the turn of the North, and the North definitely will decide who should be their preferred or choice candidate. But the truth is that should Atiku's support will be at this time, he will have more opportunity, more brighter opportunity to become the choice or preferred candidate after 2031, because definitely Obi will support him, and there will be justification should he indicate his interest after 2031. But if he insists in, of course, trying his popularity, but definitely he will not scale through, it will be another miscalculated opportunity and lost opportunity for that matter. So it's something Atiku should be well advised. I said it in 2023, regardless of whatever might be the interest or conflict of interest between Atiku and Wike of Rivers State, Atiku should have chosen him, should have used him as his running mate, and that would have given him opportunity at the platter of gold when he thought, well, he could do without Wike. Definitely, he was right, but then what was the outcome? You see, these are golden opportunities he would have used to clinch to power. In fact, if he had done that, there is no business Tinubu being within the corridor of power. But because of that miscalculation, Tinubu knew for sure he wouldn't have a better chances if Wike and Atiku have merged as a running mates in 2023. But because of that insensitivity, or perhaps whatever best reason known to Atiku, he decided to discard Wike, citing his inconsistency and mischievous nature. But then that is history has all to say. Now, blaming Tinubu for the recent clash between Atiku supporters and P2B supporters in the coalition. You see, these are conflicts of interest, but beyond that, they must find a level playing ground. There must be consideration, there must be compromise. Otherwise, all the noise about the coalitions will be just a dead end, because definitely the opposition will be monitoring closely the development, because it is of interest to them. They will not want the coalition groups to come together and make a very decisive position that will be at the disadvantage of APC. So they will want to sponsor their move within the coalition to continue flaming the fire as a way of distracting the people. Now let's see what Atiku has to say. The former Vice President Abubakar Atiku criticized President Bola Tinubu for focusing too much on the 2027 presidential election, accusing him of failing to deliver meaningful results from his 2023 mandate. Well, that shouldn't be the concern of Atiku, whether he is interested in the 2027 election. Atiku should first of all fix his own house. When your house is leaking, when your house is in disarray, when your house is engulfed in fire, you should first of all settle that case, put off the light, rather than going after rats and mice, chasing after shadows. Atiku should take time, talk to himself. It is not a excuse me. It's not a function of living in self-delusion. Leave the opposition alone. Whether they are focusing, of course, on 2027, fix your house, do what is right. Let there be that maturity, sense of responsibility and commitment. You see, this is something I learned Atiku during 2015 election. He has every opportunity to have galvanized all the northern people, especially in PDP, to support Jonathan. But he thought defeating, he lost the opportunity of possibly emerging as the flag bearer of PDP. He decided to collapse, to move away along with others, empowering the opposition. Through his defection, the likes of Saraki and the most controversial personality, Rotimi Amechi, and the rest of them, they used the opportunity to destroy the chances of PDP from emerging as the presidential winner in 2015. Then they are still paying that price of betrayal. Selfishness is beaten. What the truth about the current political system in Nigeria is today that an average Nigerian citizen will not accept a presidential candidate of the Fulani extraction because of the previous antecedents on what has been playing out in most recent time. The infractions, the raiding of communities and the rest of them by the alleged Fulani militias and the rest of them. So that alone has conditioned the mind of the people that should another Fulani extraction emerges. You can imagine in a country where we have over 250 or more ethnic nationalities, why should an average Fulani political elite be desperate for power? Why Buhari just served 2 terms of 8 years? Why wouldn't they allow other ethnic nationalities to also have a feel of the same opportunity and privileges? So this is one of the reasons why any party who wants to clinch to power 2027 election must not zone it to the north. The presidential race must be zoned to the south if they really want to make any headway. There's no mincing words about that, except they are invariably working for Tinubu in undercover. Because if Atiku will insist in running for 2027, it means he is destroying the chances of the coalition of dislodging the incumbent president, the ruling party. Yes, he will be considered as being so much desperate and quest for power, and that will not definitely augur well with the coalition or opposition, because they are not going to build any formidable force that could be able to dislodge the current political arrangements. Most importantly, as Tinubu is not resting, is doing all he could to woo the middle belt and the rest of them to his side. So if they not think they can go to sleep and wake up and emerge as the winner, well, they should have a rethink. So any person closer to Atiku or the northern political elite must consider that the permutation will not always work for their favor. They should reach a compromise, allow a southerner of most preferred and by the people to run for 2027 election, and eventually that will go back to the north. Otherwise, they will lose the chances, and definitely Atiku might not even have a better chances come 2031. So if you want to build for his presidential ambition, he should start now building and preparing the ground for his emergence come 2031, because that will give him a better leverage and platform to do that. But if he fails, he have to throw his weight. If he didn't get it, let everything scatter. Well, I wish him all the best, but then he should understand that the people are no longer gullible. They are not willing to take chances, and you don't just have to waste your votes, definitely, because they knew if Atiku should indicate interest, definitely majority of the Southerners will not vote for him, because they consider it as out of proportion. If Buhari have served for 8 years, he should allow a Southerner, in quotes, to also complete the 8 years opportunity, and that is just the case. If otherwise, then they are giving a more advantage to Tinubu to emerge, and take, if there is very close range in the voting spread, then it means Tinubu, there could be possibility of manipulating it. But if there is a wide margin and difference, there is no way it could be covered up. So with P2B emerging, where that will be a very great advantage for the opposition or the coalition party, then with the synergy built across the south and north, then they will be able to move Tinubu out of office. And Nigerians definitely will support such move. There's strong warning to Atiku, pressurizing him to drop his ambition, to withdraw from the presidential race. It should not be because of his selfish interests and jeopardize the collective interests of the majority of those who are interested in getting this government, the current government, out of power comes 2027. But if he fails to do that, then he will definitely be prolonging the days of Tinubu in office, and there is nothing anyone can do about it. So it behoves on Atiku again. It's a moment of decisions. It's left for him to reconsider that in the interest of his political ambition, and also in the interest of the collective outcome, or the interest of the overall coalition party. That is just the case. If he fails to do that, possibly that might be the last opportunity he might have missed in building his political dynasty and living out his aspiration of becoming the president. He has a better chance of emerging 2031 as the choice candidate for the North if he should cooperate, support, and synergize with the Southern presidential candidate come 2027 to emerge in the presidential race. Then he will have a better opportunity, of course, to secure his presidential ambition 2031. But if not, he might be losing out again, and that would be very unfortunate. Whatever be the case, it is quite an interesting development, honestly. Now, crisis hit coalition as Babachir Lawal fires back at ADC chairman over Atiku's 2027 presidential ambition. As if we have not seen the worst. Instead, the Adama State chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Shehu Yahoma, has firmly accused the former Secretary General of the Federation of actively working within the party to destabilize the ADC and undermine the presidential ambition of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, that led up to the 2027 election. In a strong statement during an interview with Punch, he asserted that the former SGF is coming to replace him with the close ally aiming at seize control of the party's structure in the state. Well, that is quite interesting. However, in an interview with the publication mentioned above, the former SGF described the allegation as laughable and desperate, adding that the Yahama is an illegitimate interim chairman afraid of being removed. He further denied links with the APC of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, insisting he had no intention of supporting the party now or in the future. Babachir, who resigned his APC chairmanship recently, Babachir, who resigned his APC chairmanship recently, has been a critic of Tinubu administration, firstly before his election over the Muslim ticket, and for what he termed anti-people policies. That is quite interesting. The former Secretary General of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has been a critic of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, citing irregularities, anti-people's policies, and the rest of them. But there are speculations. You never can tell. All these politicians could not be trusted. What they tell you in the public might not be the same thing they meant at the secret. So there might possibly be planted ahead of time to destabilize the coalition. So it behoves on the coalitions to have 4 eyes and eventually vet anyone that may be given sensitive opportunities or positions, as that will either mar or make the outcome of this coalition. So there could be the possibility of implanting molds among the coalitions just to get information or possibly sabotage the cause of the party's ambition of winning the 2027 election. So Atiku should not play to the gallery. Atiku should not support the destruction or collapse of the coalition by maintaining his ambition of running for 2027. He should be able to caution his own followers and align with the southern candidate to emerge, support the southern candidate, and then he will be very closer to realizing his own presidential ambition come 2031. But if not, then that will definitely remain a mirage in the world of fantasy. I hope he understood these intricacies and eventually make judicious use of his own popularity and the rest of them. Most importantly, if he does that, if he cooperates with the P2B and eventually support him, definitely comes 2031, nobody will question, of course, his veracity and competence in emerging as the choice candidate for the North. But if he maintain his desperation, then people will misinterpret that definitely, and that will hamper the chances of even the ADC clinching into power, winning, let alone clinching to the power comes 2027. Let's have your own take regarding this development. And of course, there have been wide reactions regarding this subject matter. Let's get to know what is your own via the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more political discourse. Thanks for watching.